What's up, guys? This is Eric Arsenal, professional vocal coach and recording artist. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back with another edition of Ask Eric. As always, you guys have questions, and I've got answers.
Eric, talk to him.
Something so beautiful. I see what I want. I know what I want. And that's to be with her. Even though I'm not what she's used to, we can still be cool. I'm just a chill dude, and I hope she can handle
Today, I'm going to be addressing what has surely been the most asked question over the past couple months. And that question is, how do I know if I'm singing from my diaphragm? Well, the answer to that question is pretty simple. If you're a human being watching this video right now and you happen to be breathing, then any singing that you'll be doing will definitely be from your diaphragm. How can I be so sure? Well, you see, all singing is from the diaphragm because all breathing is from the diaphragm. So if you're breathing, you have no choice but to use the diaphragm. Quick anatomy breakdown. The diaphragm is simply a dome-shaped muscle that resides within the ribcage. When we inhale, it moves down and acts as a suction or a pump and draws air into the lungs. When we exhale, it moves back up, allowing the air to be released. So if it's that simple, then what's all this talk about singing from the diaphragm? Well, let's break it down a little bit further and get more specific with the phrases and terminology. Yes, it's true that all breathing is from the diaphragm. However, there is definitely a difference, or there definitely can be a difference, in the quality of that diaphragmatic action. For many singers, left to their own devices, they will do what we call a shallow, or what I call a tight breath. So the diaphragm will have limited movement, and you'll see outwardly heaving of the chest and sucking in of the stomach. And so they take that Superman breath. And so it's up and it's high like this, really tight. The problem with this is that when you take this high, tight breath, you immediately get a tight throat before you even begin singing. Also, you use a very small portion of your lungs when you take this high breath, when most of your lung tissue is not only lower, but also in your back. So this is a really inefficient use of your lungs. Also, since this breath is so tight, the natural suction response of the diaphragm can't fully be utilized. So you have to laboriously heave every single breath. Laboriously, is that a word? I always make up words. But you have to really heave every breath. So if I were to sing with this high, tight breath, immediately might never be tight. I would be squeezed. Something so beautiful. And I'd heave in the next breath. I see what I want. Ugh. It's exhausting just demonstrating it. And what's worse, it can lead to a myriad of vocal disorders. Tight breathing like that is one of the main culprits of excessive vocal weight for those of you that want to free up your chest voice range. So, what's the solution? When you hear people say to breathe from the diaphragm or to sing from the diaphragm, what they really mean, or perhaps what they should mean, is to take a relaxed and open breath. So what's an open breath? An open breath is one that utilizes more of your lung capacity and draws the diaphragm lower, which helps to take pressure off of the throat and immediately relax it. Now, when I say to take a relaxed breath, relaxed doesn't always necessarily mean to let the whole body go limp. It's more so coordinating relaxation of certain muscles. And let's get a little more specific. Now, there are many people who feel that one muscle group is more important than another when it comes to getting the best response from the diaphragm. There are many people who focus on just the stomach, a belly breath. And so they'll tell you that you know you're doing it right if you've got this action happening. That in and out belly breath. While others will say it's all about the back. So you got to get that back to expand if you want to get the full action of the diaphragm going. Still, others will say it's all about the ribs. So there needs to be a sideward expansion of the rib cage. And I'm going to tell you that they're all right. In order to fully get the most out of the diaphragm for breathing and for supporting the voice, we have to utilize the diaphragm's natural 360 suction response. So we have to get it to expand everywhere at once. Here's a simple exercise that'll help you develop that skill. We're simply going to stand up straight, Relax your shoulders down and then gently draw them back so that the chest is comfortably lifted. Don't get tight or stiff with it, just a gentle lifting. Slightly bend your knees and gently pull your hips, gently pull your hips under and ears over the shoulders. You might feel a little awkward with this, but it should help to straighten you up, and it makes breathing easier. Now that we've gotten our good breathing posture, we're going to make little claw-like talons with the hands, and we're going to squeeze the body. We're going to grab the part in between the rib cage and the pelvis. Too high up is ribs, too low is pelvis, but in between there's a part that we can squeeze. So what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze firmly so that we feel pressure from the fingers and the thumbs, and then we're going to breathe so that we expand all these areas at once. And then we exhale. So again, what we're doing is, from a side view, when I squeeze, I'm going to breathe into my fingers at the front so that my stomach expands. I'm going to breathe into my thumb in the back so that my back expands. And I'm also going to breathe into the sides so that I get that full 360-degree action. And then I let go. Again, it's all about getting that 360-degree expansion. So, for this exercise, you just take your time, take in as many little breaths as you need to until you get it as wide as possible. So what we're trying to do with the hands, we're trying to make the hands open up with breath. So we're breathing into this pressure. So we squeeze, and then we breathe into that pressure and make our hands expand, the thumbs and the fingers. So, in essence, what I'm doing is opening the stomach part, opening the back part, and opening the side part all at once. What this is going to do, it's going to train your body to start drawing that breath in deep on its own, so that when it comes time for you to sing, you don't have to say, okay, Eric said breathe like this. No, you'll just be able to go right to it. Understood? Now, I know you're going to ask me this, so I'm going to answer it in advance. How many times a day should you practice this? As frequently as you can. I think a smart thing to do would be to do a good 10 repetitions before you begin your vocal exercise warm-up. So what you would do is squeeze, breathe into your fingers and your thumbs. When you're full, exhale, squeeze, inhale into the squeeze fingers again, and only squeeze enough to feel pressure. Don't squeeze so hard that you can't move them or that your fingers start to hurt. Just squeeze just enough so you can feel pressure so that you know where to direct the breath. And do about 10 reps. Side view again is, then relax. Got it? So now when it comes time for me to sing, I'm not going to try to force the breath down deep. I'm just going to allow the exercises to do their job. I'm going to stand with a decent posture, and I'm going to allow the breath to drop this time. So instead of this breath, I'm going to relax this, and I'm going to let the body expand throughout the whole torso. Remember, guys, I'm not saying that the chest is evil. Let the breath travel up to the chest. It's just that it needs to feel from the bottom up. We want full torso expansion. You should feel like you're taking in a full body breath, or at least a full torso breath, as opposed to just a chest breath. So remember before with the I see what I want, that high chest breath. I see what I want. If we relax it, I see what I want. Let's see what a difference that is. And since it drops off so much weight from my chest voice, I have room to move and embellish. I see what I want. See? It's one of those little secrets that will grant you so much freedom. It'll make mixing easier and all that stuff. Since we've gotten that great diaphragmatic action from the inhale, we don't need to do anything special to get the breath out. All we need to do is relax. I'm about to contradict so much of what many of you have been taught about singing from the diaphragm. But it's not at all about rock hard abs. I think I've mentioned that before in some of my other videos. If you do this, you will feel like your voice weighs a ton. And I see what I want is going to feel like I see what I... It's going to be pushed. You might get a little vocal boost of power by tightening this temporarily, but you will surely blow out your voice, and it can lead to all kinds of vocal disorders. Trust me on this. The teaching of tightening the abdomen as hard as you can is an antiquated method that will lead to vocal damage with long-term use. It's not wise to do it. Relax the stomach and relax the throat. It doesn't mean that you have to squeeze this. Just talk it out. So take that relaxed breath. And I see what I want. It's easy. There's no strain. There's no pressure. Even if I want to add the embellishment, I see what I want. It's easy. And of course, this is just a very basic example. And with practice, you'll be able to do all kinds of crazy things. And how could I forget? As great as the information in this video is, it really is only basic information. If you want the real meat of the knowledge that's going to really transform your voice dramatically, then check out my new video series, Arsenal Approach 2.0, available only on my website, aapproach.com. Get the first video and download it today. Promise you'll love it. Peace.